Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Hello, and happiest of Wednesdays to you and yours. This is Run It Back. My name is Michelle Beadle. Chandler Parsons, live from Atlanta, Lou Will, and live from Mongolia. We got Boogie Cousins. Boogie, talk to us. Where are we? Where are we in the games?
We down 3-2 right now.
No.
Play again Friday. Yeah, you know how the playoffs go. It's ups and downs. So, we look to, tie this thing up Friday and keep the series going. So, we keep it pushing.
Do they have? These are really long series.
I was gonna say, y'all have a lot of days off in between games, or what?
Yeah, sometimes it's a 2 days, and other times it's like 4 days in between.
Back and forth to different arenas or same gym?
One arena.
Ooh,
one arena.
We like that though, don't we?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad setup, but it's more so the days in between that kind of drag it out. So.
Just hanging out in Mongolia, doing stuff.
Yeah.
Lou, you're good? You ready to talk some hoops?
I'm all good.
Okay.
No complaints on my end. Boogie, finish the job, my boy.
Can I ask one question real quick before we get to basketball? Have either one of you seen Star Wars?
No.
Thank you. She was like mesmerized. I've never seen Star Wars.
How about Godfather?
Yes.
What about Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
This is our meeting today, by the way.
I've seen
Two more
both.
no's.
Yes.
Understood.
All right, when you guys
get
get back to studio, we have a lot of questions to get caught up on. But till then, we do have some basketball to talk. This was an interesting day yesterday because the NBAPA with some statements coming out. So first up, Giannis. Players Association, in support of him, by the way, the refusal to shut down for the season, stating the fans, broadcast partners, integrity of the game, all of that's going to suffer if these anti-tanking policies aren't enforced. Now, they're not really playing for much at this point, Chandler. I think that goes without saying. This is an interesting move by the association. What did you make of it, first of all?
Well, I like that they're coming to the defense of a player. I like that's what they're there for. The whole infrastructure of this company is to back the players and to get the players back in any sort of situation, especially something like this. But this is unique because as Giannis's career is getting older and 31 years old and he's been banged up, it doesn't really make sense for him to be playing in these games. And for the Bucks, they don't want to win as many games as possible because obviously they want a higher pick and they want to put themselves in the best situation this summer. So it's interesting because it really doesn't make sense for either parties to play. But you got to respect the fact that Giannis is saying that, listen, I'm healthy. I am healthy enough to play. I want to compete. This is my job. The fans deserve to see me play. So I respect that aspect. But business-wise, it really doesn't make sense for either to play, especially if there's going to be a breakup this summer. God forbid you play in this pointless season and something bad happens that alters the rest of your career. That would be devastating for Giannis. So I get what both sides are doing here, and I do love that the PA is stepping in and kind of being a voice on multiple different topics that we're going to talk about. That's what they're there for, and I feel like they've kind of missed the boat on a lot of other situations where they could have stepped in and had a voice. So I at least respect the fact that they are stepping up from the players' behalf and making it known, whether it's this situation or the 65-game policy or anything else. I love the fact that they're there repping the players because it's what they're there to do.
But guys, is this not, like you just said, like Giannis it's in his best interest as well to not get hurt and be traded and get the maximum value, right? So I don't know. It feels a little performative, like maybe this is just for show to make Giannis look a little bit better. But what do you guys make of the association statement?
It's probably some of that too, and it can be some performative in there. But just competing against Giannis and having an opportunity to get to know his personality, if he feels like he can suit up, he wants to be available and he wants to play. I can respect that. I can respect any player that's not looking towards the future. Us on the outside looking in, we're looking at big picture like, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be traded or, the team wants you to go into the offseason healthy. And even you should want to go into the offseason healthy. And everybody should be happy about that. But as he looks at it, he has an opportunity to go out there and compete with his teammates until the wheels fall off. And, the part of the conversation being had is the integrity of the game. If a player is healthy and he wants to compete, he wants to go out there and play, it should be nothing stopping him. Now, on the flip side of the coin, if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks and I have I'm looking to trade him or I want this player to be in good shape by the time that all scenarios come up in the summertime, I want him to be as healthy as possible. So I can see both sides of this, but I can also see a performative part of it as well, Beadle, like you just said. Like, You know, some of this could be the save face for the fan base, and some of it can be genuine. Two things can be true at the same time. But, you know, knowing Giannis and him, this being his first time going through this type of scenario, all of these things could be at play right now.
Boogie?
I mean, I've had the chance to be his teammate, not for a long period of time, but in that short time, you know, what I learned about this guy is he's a very honorable guy. He's a stand-up guy. He means what he says, and he says what he means. You know what I mean? So, obviously, I can see both sides of this. With Milwaukee, you know, you don't want to take that risk. Basically, what everyone has said, you don't want to take that risk as far as injury, lowering his value, even if you're considering trading him in the offseason, if you're considering extending him, either way it goes, you know, an injury doesn't help that situation in any way, shape, or form. And on the other side of things with Giannis, he's an honorable guy. He's a true professional. I've seen him first guy in the gym, last one now. He works his tail off every single day. And he takes the game of basketball very seriously. So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if I would say is, you know, him being performative or of that nature. I think Milwaukee means the world to him. That's where his career started. You know, he won a championship there. Probably one of the greatest to ever put on that jersey. So I think for him, he feels he owes that to the organization. Now, is that something we can agree with? Probably not, and that's us on the outside looking in. But for him, I think he wants to end. If it does end, or if it does continue, I just think he always wants this to be on the best note. So I kind of see it from a different angle.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: it's you never play to get hurt, right? You don't think that's going to happen. And again, unless it's something that's career-ending or something completely detrimental to his career, which I guess could happen. I respect the fact that he wants to go and play and wants to be there for his current teammates, even if they're not going to be his teammates next year, because it's still going to require a boatload of assets and players and picks to acquire him, even if he gets a little banged up if he comes back. Now you look at the season, he's missed 35 games, right?
Yep.
Left knee, left abductor, right calf, and left ankle. The calf is concerning. Like, that's if I'm his agent or if I'm him or on the team, that is something that can linger, that is something that can get worse. So these aren't just like normal type injuries that can't turn into something worse. So I understand the caution with him. And again, this is a guy who's 31 years old who depends largely on his athleticism and his health for the latter part of his career. So it's a tricky situation. As a fan of Milwaukee, I think this does save him a little face. Like, look, he wants to at least play while he's here. So this is a right optics-wise move to do this. Business and basketball-wise, it just doesn't make sense for him to play, though.
Just outside looking in, Lou, I don't know how it works, right? I mean, if he is healthy, ultimately, can he not just say, hey, Doc, I'm healthy, put me in? Like, who's making this call?
Ultimately, it comes down to the team. That's why the NBPA has gotten involved in this, because it's going to come down to the team. It's going to come down to the training staff. And if they're telling him he's not cleared to play or he's not going to play, that's going to be the decision made. And Giannis protecting himself and wanting to fight for himself, he's gonna get the Players Association involved, because he's like, hey, I wanna go out and play. So the one thing that we can agree on, whether it's performative or whether it's genuine or so on and so forth, we can all agree that there's a disconnect between Giannis and ownership with the Milwaukee Bucks at this point. You know, like, if you're on, like, as a player, if you get shut down for the season knowing that you can't make a difference in how the season is going to go, a lot of guys will take that as a vacation and say, you know what, I'll be happy to put my street clothes on and root my guys on from the sideline in my street clothes. I love the fact, and I can respect the fact that this is a guy saying, no, I'm gonna ride till the wheels fall off with my guys, you know, and if you're not gonna allow me to do so, then I'm gonna get legal representation involved, and we're gonna make some noise with this. We're gonna make a fuss about it. And that looked like that's what the scenario is going on. But ultimately, Beadle, to your question, it's going to come down to the team and the training staff telling him that he's not available to suit up. And that's why he's gotten the NBPA involved.
And there's obviously different
It's a weird
scenarios.
system,
If they were
bit.
playing for anything, or if they were in a playoff series or Game 7 of the finals, there's no doubt he's playing.
Right.
So a player can have that input, especially someone like Giannis, that, look, guys, I am fine, I am playing. The team now is looking at, look, there's no reason. He is now an asset going forward this summer. With the uncertainty of his career here in Milwaukee, it makes no sense. But players have control to a standpoint, but right now I think the team has more control and more say over maybe a Game 7 of a playoff series, or them making a push to try and get the 6th seed versus the play-in. Like, I guarantee you, if those were the scenarios, he'd be playing, and the team would be totally cool with it.
You know what, Boogie, Chandler listed off sort of the little laundry list of injuries he's had, the calf being probably top of that worrisome injuries. If you were other teams, he's still a superstar. He's still a huge name in this league. Are you nervous at all about the idea of getting him on your roster?
Absolutely not. I'm excited. I mean, this is Giannis. This is a guy that's in the prime of his career. I mean, injuries are a part of the game. He hasn't had anything, catastrophic injury-wise. I mean, and knock on wood, but injuries are a part of the game. These type of things happen with the force that he plays with on a nightly basis. These type of lower body injuries are pretty common, but they're also fixable. And I do think I would like to see him take advantage of this, time frame of, meaningless basketball and, to get healthy, get right for the next season. If it's in Milwaukee or if it's somewhere else, I do think he could take advantage of that time to get fully healthy. And I think it would be even more teams lined up, for the sweepstakes of getting the chance at trading for Giannis. So, I can't agree with that. Now, if this was, something a little more severe, if it's, for instance, like myself, I had catastrophic injuries back to back to back. So I would get viewed in a different way as far as, being an asset to a team or if they could even depend on me to be healthy throughout an entire season. So that would make more sense. But these are more so minor injuries and also fixable injuries. And with the time he has right now, he can go into any season healthy right now, anywhere he goes.
Anybody hesitating?
It's someone that you're always going to take a risk on. It's the talent, the production when he's on the court. I mean, look at his numbers last 5-7 years. Like, you want to compare him to other players now, where it's all just health driven. If he's on the floor, he's unreal. And this year, he's only played 36 games. He's still averaging 29, 10, and 5. Like, yeah, I'm going to take a risk on that guy. I don't care how the game is going. I don't care how much shooting it is and how much if he loses a step. I'm taking a risk on getting a Giannis Antetokounmpo. If I can go and put a package together to possibly acquire him for the next 3 to 5 years,
right.
I'm swinging.
It's a legit 3 to 5 year. That's what we're thinking, Lou. That's a pretty good window.
Yeah, you got a good pocket of time. I don't think this makes teams nervous. At the end of the day, we got a guy that's fighting to get back on the court right now. That should tell you everything that you need to know about him and how he feels health-wise. He wants to compete right now as it stands, let alone in the offseason or next season or anything in the future. He's telling you right now on Wednesday, I want to go out and put a uniform on and go hoop and be with my guys. So if I'm other teams, I like the mindset. I like the mentality that I got a guy willing to play through all of the adversity that he's been through, knowing that he doesn't have a shot at playing in the playoffs or having a chance to compete for a play-in spot, and he still wants to suit up. To me, that should turn teams on. That should make more teams want to be involved in the sweepstakes.
He's averaging 28 points a game this year on 29 minutes a game.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Like,
you don't want a shot at that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, he's going to New York. I don't know why we're going to keep talking about this, but we can. Earlier in the week, Bill Simmons questioned whether or not he's a top 5 player. And Boogie, the sentiment was that he's closer to a Joel Embiid than he is to a Jokic, which, I don't know, that kind of changes how I view the statement. What did you think?
I think Giannis is Giannis. First of all, I mean, the comparison to either or, that was unnecessary. I totally disagree with Bill Simmons. Like I said, Giannis is in the prime of his career right now. We just spoke on the numbers. He's averaging 28 in 29 minutes. Like, if that's not giving top 5, and obviously health is something you have to consider. But this guy healthy, he's absolutely top 5. This is a guy that plays both ends of the floor. He changes the whole dynamic of any team he's on. So absolutely, it's just mind blowing to even compare him to a Joel Embiid because, and I think Joel Embiid is great. If he ends his career right now, he's a Hall of Fame guy. But the facts are the facts as far as he's missed as many games as he's played. So to compare Giannis to that, it makes no sense. So, like I said, Giannis is Giannis. Put some respect on his name. And like I said, I think it's going to be a line around the door this summer to try to acquire this guy to any franchise in the league right now.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of love and respect for Bill Simmons and a lot of the legends in the sports media space. But we got to stop with the smarter than everybody in the room takes, man. Like, some of these takes are just off the wall. Like, Why can't we just celebrate the person for who they are opposed to comparing them to somebody else's legacy and career? All three names mentioned in this conversation are going to be Hall of Fame guys, if you ask me. You know what I mean? And like Chandler and Boogie both just mentioned, we still talking about a guy that's averaging 20. He's averaging a point a minute. Every time he's on the court, he's averaging a point a minute. He's impactful in his own way. He doesn't have to be compared to anybody to say that he's a top 5 player. Every year we're having this conversation of him being in the MVP conversation. He's an MVP candidate, perennial. Every year he's a top 5 considered player. He's one of the reasons we feel so strongly about where the international game is going. He's the reason that teams got to pack the paint and got to figure out ways to guard him. As much as we talk about LeBron and Steph Curry changing the game, Giannis has changed the game in his own unique way with his style of play. You know, so saying that he's closer to Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, and saying that in a tone of it being some type of negative way to go, I ain't loving that take.
Yeah, I don't even want to discredit or disrespect Joel Embiid either, because right now he's been banged up a little bit with injuries, but he's also having a hell of a year. He's averaging 26, 27 points a game, and these guys are all great when they're healthy. I understand the comparison of the injury-wise, but production-wise, there's no denying. This guy is a top 5 player in the NBA. And I think I'll do it. I drew it down here. Jokic, SGA, Wemby, and Luka. I think we can read. Those are probably the top 4 players. I can't find a 5th. That's above Giannis right there for the 5th spot. And you could even argue he could go up that. So when he's healthy, again, there's so much talent and so many great players. There's the K's, the Ants, the Jaylen Browns. Like, there's so many good players, and everybody's list is going to be different. But there's no argument that when this guy is healthy, which he has been for the most of his career, he is dominant. He is unbelievable. He's one of the greatest small forward, power forwards, wherever you want to put him, in the history of the NBA. So now when he's hurt, now he's in the situation, I don't even like this whole debate where you can put him down or put other guys down by comparing him to these other grades. They're all great. They're all awesome. They've just gone through adversity and injuries, but no doubt in my mind he will be back, and whoever gets him next year is extremely lucky.
Yeah, whoever gets him.
The Knicks?
The association was also they were on this, and we've sort of been talking that this was inevitably going to get here.
Yeah, haven't heard from you guys in a while. Good to see you.
This topic is legit, and here we go. 65-game rule. They're calling for it to either be abolished or, at the very least, reformed so that you can have exceptions for serious injuries, which, of course, is the Cade Cunningham rule at this point, is how we're going to view it. We all know that the All-NBA team spot for him is in doubt. He only has 61 games played as of now. He's got the collapsed lung. I don't know that he's going to get the minimum number. And so, look, in order for them to go and reform this, you'd have to get back into some collective bargaining, because they did agree to it 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that what we're looking at?
It'd be a shame, because you don't want to see a lockout. You don't want to see other guys' seasons and careers jeopardized because of this. But it is definitely a topic of conversation. I'm glad, again, that they're getting involved in a situation like this, because this is the first real example we've seen of a player getting burned by this rule. This rule was placed into this league for load management and making the game better. Cade Cunningham having a collapsed lung, that has nothing to do with the season he had and the success him and the Pistons have had. So there's got to be some sort of an exception or a gray area where you can override a certain situation of a player that knows it was not the right thing to happen. Everybody knows right now Cade Cunningham is probably a first-team All-NBA, at worst second, and he's a top 3, top 4 MVP candidate. So the fact that he's got a legit injury, that, by the way, pisses him off more than anybody else. You don't think this guy wants to play? Like, this is where this is a little gray to me, and I'm glad, again, the Players Association is stepping in, because we need them at a time like this to kind of fix this, because everyone knows it's the rule, everyone understood the rule, but everyone knows it's not fair in this exact example. So I'm glad they're speaking up. I'd hate for it to be a whole drawn-out, like, lockout.
Oh,
I can't imagine it would go on that long, because I think everyone kind of sees the way that we see. But this is just really the first example that we have of this, where it's going to screw a player.
It looks like it's gonna add up. You know, looking at the numbers, Wemby has to play the last 8 out of 10, and Jokic has to play the last 9 out of 10. And you know, there's no room for error. There's no room for injury. No room for suspensions. No room for nothing. You know, for 2 guys that we consider to be in this conversation just as much as Cade Cunningham, they're on a tightrope. So if you mess around and get one more of these guys in this conversation, or God forbid you get both of these guys in this conversation along with Cade Cunningham, you're gonna have to do something. Something is gonna have to be discussed after this season.
Yeah, there's a world that all 4 of those guys don't meet the requirement.
100%.
And when I think of this season, those are probably the first 4 names I would think of, and they don't qualify.
You know what I was thinking about on the drive-in this morning? And I don't, it's obviously this is a regular season award, or this is how it's given out. However, you know, some of these guys are going to go deep into the playoffs. That's going to be a lot more games added onto their total. And it kind of seems unfair that that's not taken into account as far as your performance, your ability to contribute to the workplace. Like that, I know that it's regular season, but this was made for anti-tanking, right? And this was because back in the day, we're giving awards out for dudes who played like 51 games. And I understand that that was not considered acceptable. Maybe it is time to go back to the drawing board and just tweak it.
Even the in-season tournament. Didn't SGA play in a couple of those games that didn't count?
There's one game in there that does not count for sure.
So but that doesn't go towards this?
I think rules are made to sort of go back and they evolve, and you have to sort of revisit and kind of change them a little bit. This isn't going to be so in their face, they're going to have to. Like the Cade thing is a big deal. And also it affects money.
I think it's great it's happening this early too with the rule, with this much star power in the conversation. Because again, let's say Jokic and SGA, they're gunning to meet their requirement, and then something worse happens on the way to that. Like now they're just going to be trying and reaching those numbers. No matter where you put that number, I understand it's going to be...
They're always going to be complaints.
It's going to be egregious no matter what, because if it's 60 games and guys are just going to play 60 games and then sit. If it's 55, like they're going to find ways to beat the system. I just feel like with this many examples of our star players that have had a huge impact on the success of this season, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think a revisit.
Something else to consider really quick about.
I was going to piggyback off Beads right there.
Yeah, because like think about it. Yeah, some of these guys that we're talking about, right, Book, like they're pretty much going to lock their seats in pretty soon here, right? And so we're going to start seeing the customary resting guys for games and this and that. So you're telling me if Detroit or San Antonio, they're locking their seed with 3 or 4 games left to go, you're forcing those guys out on the floor. Like now you're putting Wemby in a position to play in meaningless games as well. And that's the opposite side of what you want from tanking. But you also, if you're the Spurs, you're like, why am I putting him in risk of not being available for the playoffs for individual awards? So a lot of gray areas, a lot of things.
That's a great point. And think about, Lou, now you're taking away the whole advantage of getting that early lead and locking the number 1 seed. That's what you played all season for. Now you lock up the 1 seed, but I have to play to meet this requirement?
Right, and then I risk that I'm hurt for the playoffs, which is what we're all playing for in the first place.
And then miss the series and lose first round because I was so thirsty for the 65 games.
This is legit tough, Boogie.
And you also, you said something, Bees. You said something that it affects guys' money, but for me, it's a little deeper than that. It actually affects guys' legacies. So at the end of my career, you know, me missing, 3-4 seasons because I didn't necessarily meet this requirement in my career, those 3-4 seasons I missed takes me from having, 4 All-NBA seasons to, 8 or 10 or whatever the case may be. I think that plays a huge part in this as well. When guys argue, who's the greatest of this generation, or you start comparing eras, the first thing everybody brings up is accolades. So
it's true.
It's true.
This rule now affects each guy's legacy. I think K has had one of the best seasons of his career, and now it's cut short because he misses 4 games, you know what I mean? So I think that's also completely unfair. So for me, it's bigger than the money. The legacy also matters in this.
And think about like Hall of Fame, right? We always look at like right now, this class, I'm looking at like Blake Griffin and Amari Stoudemire, I think. And I'm looking, the first thing I do is I go to their Wikipedia and I look at their accolades and their resume. And if this rule was implemented for those guys and it was 7-time All-NBA, maybe it would have been 3 if they had to play by these same rules. So like it's a huge discredit to the guys now because it is ruining their resumes, and for future like awards like the Hall of Fame, it is going to be much harder to get those type of accolades that these other guys didn't have to qualify for.
I mean, Mark, a tweak is coming. Something's going to change. And the quote that they used in the statement was that Cade has had a career-defining season, and no one can argue with that. And I think that's the league has to take a look. Just based on that. So we've got to talk a little New York before we go to break here. The Knicks have won 7 straight. There's some streaks going on in the league right now that just quietly happening. 121-116 win over the Pelicans, 32 from Brunson, 21 from Cat and OG. At the moment, they got a better win percentage than they did last season. But Chandler, do you think this team is better than last season's team?
I think they're very similar. I think when I watch them, sometimes they are unbelievable and they're my favorite to get out of the East. And then sometimes I watch them and they're just so lost. They're so stagnant on offense. It's a still heavy dose of Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. And I think he's obviously, Cat is going to be the X factor. I think he goes, obviously, you know what Jalen Brown's going to get. Those guys like Hart, OG, Bridges, you kind of know what they're going to get. Some nights I see Hall of Fame All-Star Cat, and some nights I see float around there Cat and just absolutely zero production and zero care to be there. So I think they have the talent. They could be a great defensive team. I just feel like they've been such a roller coaster of a season where they haven't found that consistency, and they're on it right now. I want them to continue this and keep playing good basketball to the playoffs because they have a chance to get the 2 seed. Is that what
they're battling it out with Boston?
It's all the ups and downs, and they're still right there to possibly go and grab the 2 seed. Would be a great success. It's just we want to see them do it in the playoffs.
I think that's fair, guys. Anybody have a counter to that? Because I think the playoffs is sort of where they're going to get judged harshly, Boogie.
I think they're a better team this year than the previous. I think that was part of the coaching move as far as bringing in Mike Brown. I think they tweaked a lot of things that they thought were negatives last year as far as bench production, getting the best out of the starting 5, minutes played, all of those type of things. And obviously based off the numbers, they're a better team. So that's no knock to the previous coaching staff or anything like that. And you can also consider the ups and downs of the Eastern Conference in general. It was a lot healthier last year compared to this year. So all of those things can be considered, and but based off the numbers, they are a better team this year.
It's crazy to say. It's crazy to say with all things considered. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, our first ever one-on-one tournament. It's next.
Uh-oh.
Run it up, run it back.
So we kind of were thinking about this. Look, we're not going to get into the All-Star stuff, but we all have agreed that a one-on-one tournament would be must-see television, unrivaled. Shout out the ladies, Fee, Chelsea Gray, all those guys doing that one-on-one tournament. Second season they've done it. Obviously, it's highly anticipated and people love it. So we're going to do it over here. We got 28 players, top 4 All-Star vote getters are just going to get a bye. That is our format. In this case, Luka, Tyrese Maxey, Giannis, and Jokic.
And that list is just all the All-Stars from this
Yeah,
season.
we're using this year's information to sort of hypothetically figure this bad boy out. So, Chandler, I start with you.
Okay, I do think this is exactly what All-Star Weekend needs because it is pretty miz to get there. So first round, Luka obviously has a bye to get to the second round. First matchup, Jaylen Brown. I got him over Scotty Barnes. Interesting matchup. Both big wings can kind of do it all, but I think Jaylen Brown has a little bit more offensive game to kind of take that matchup. Then I move on to Anthony Edwards over Donovan Mitchell. Again, kind of similar type players, both strong, athletic guards that can score the ball in so many different ways. Just think Ant is going to want it more. He's going to kind of want to show out in this first ever tournament if it happens. Devin Booker, I got him over SGA, which might be a little surprise over the MVP. SGA has been so good, so consistent, but Devin Booker, people forget how cold he is one-on-one. His mid-range is insane, and I like him going really far in this tournament because he's versatile. He can defend smaller guys, bigger guys. I think he would be very, very good in this tournament. Then I got Tyrese has the bye to the second round. Then I got Jamal Murray over Jalen Brunson. Same thing. Again, all these matchups are going to be really, really hard. All these guys have games. It also depends on what the rules are, how many dribbles. I don't know if it's two dribbles, three dribbles, but again, that's going to change a lot when it gets to the size portions of it. But I like Murray over Jalen Brunson. And I got Cade over Denny. Again, this is one of the best closers, best mid-range games, 6'7" guard. He can kind of do it all, can get downhill, can just rise up over Denny. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for him. And last
one's good.
I got De'Aaron Fox. I think that's what it says. Yep. Over Steph Curry. Again, might sound crazy. One-on-one. One guy's a little bit older. Might not take this seriously. One guy's used to moving without the ball, coming off screens. Not saying Steph Curry's not great one-on-one, but De'Aaron Fox, that speed might give him a little bit of trouble. But again, how fun is this? All those
I would watch
I could go the other way with all my picks. I could go the exact other way.
This would be an amazing television product. Lou,
who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take you off the hot seat right there. We pretty much got some of the same picks. Obviously, Luka has that first round bye, but I got Jaylen Brown over Scotty Barnes as well. I just feel like when it comes to the game, Jaylen Brown can put the ball in the hole. Scotty Barnes is more of a system guy for me. I know he got some one-on-one game in him, but give me Jaylen Brown in that matchup. Also got Anthony Edwards over Donovan Mitchell. That's two heavyweights, two guys that can really put the ball in the basket. But if I'm just checking up top of the key and I like one of these guys, you got to give me AE for that crown right there. Got Devin Booker over SGA. Two 15-foot guys, two mid-range killers. I've just seen Devin Booker put a 70 on somebody's head, and when we start talking about killers and we start talking about just pure scores, can put the ball in a basket, and one-on-one scenarios, Devin Booker gets the edge for me. On the other side, Tyrese Maxey, he has a bye going into the second round. So moving on, I got Jamal Murray over Jalen Brunson as well. That one was kind of tricky to me. I like both of these guys. I know Jalen Brunson, he got the bully game, but we just talking about 15, mid-range, 15 feet out, stretching to the three-point line. I like Jamal Murray in that matchup. I know JB is gonna hate me for that. Moving along, I got Cade Cunningham over Denny as well. Talk about bully ball, three-level scorer, one-on-one with his size. I don't think a lot of guys can stop Cade Cunningham in that sense. Now, this is where we differ. You went De'Aaron Fox over Steph Curry. I cannot subscribe to that. So I'm going Steph Curry over De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, I don't know what your reasoning was. I think I heard a little bit of it. I ain't buying none of it. Whatever it was, I'm not buying not one piece. So I'm going Steph Curry over De'Aaron Fox.
Okay, Boogie, I think we all agree this would... it makes me happy just thinking that this could possibly ever happen. But what do you think?
I want to claim that was a typo, but I don't think it was. I think I picked Fox.
You picked Fox. It's okay.
I think I picked him.
Well, you know, to be fair, we make these picks a little foggy in the morning at 6:15, 6:30 in the morning. You know, to be fair.
Besides that, we had them all the same.
You only disagreed on one. Boogie, they only disagreed on that final between Fox and Curry. What do you make of their choices?
That's the one that stood out to me as well. Chandler's lost his mind. We're not blaming it on waking up early in the morning.
Yeah. I tried to give him some, Boogie. It had something had to. I don't know what he saw.
I just think maybe the young buck will want it more. Steph's going to be 38, 39 years
you
old.
Love the Spurs. Let it go.
I'm a big Spurs guy.
It's Steph Curry, though. If you check ball, he's not going to say, oh, young fella, you got it. He's going to want to prove something.
Yeah.
That's the only way we know Steph Curry.
As soon as he passes half court, that's a tough matchup for anybody. So that's the only one I would disagree with. I'm definitely picking Steph over De'Aaron. No knock to De'Aaron. But,
yeah.
I mean, this
we like Fox in a lot of these matchups. We just don't like him in the first round against Steph Curry.
God, you're going to get like Olympic Steph Curry, like assassin. God, I want this to happen. Okay, good news is we got more. We got the bigs. Chandler, this is going to get
all right, this is fun. Okay, so we got Giannis, who gets the first round bye, yikes. First round matchup, Kawhi against Pascal Siakam. I got to go Kawhi here, especially this version of Kawhi I'm seeing. He is the king of the mid-range. He's so big. He's so strong. He can get to the hoop. And no matter how many dribbles, I think Kawhi Leonard will be really good in this. Just the way he plays. He's so methodical, can shoot over top of you. So I love Kawhi getting to this. Then LeBron James. I thought about going Jalen Johnson here. But again, LeBron James, Jalen Johnson, they're both athletic. I think Jalen Johnson is the young buck. He's going to want it more. He's going to really go hard for this. I hope we get to have this conversation because it would be awesome to see this collection of players do this. But I had to go with the OG there at LeBron. Same thing with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant versus Brandon Ingram, kind of similar games. Both kind of have the thing on a string.
Lanky.
Both lanky, long scorer type of guys. Can also go mid-range, can get to the hoop. Phenomenal one-on-one players. But I think when we think of the NBA and basketball players, Kevin Durant is probably the best, tallest scorer, I don't know, ever. So I think he's going to also go a little tease. I think he's going to go very far in this tournament. I don't care his age when it comes to one-on-one. Okay, so then on the other side, we got Jokic with a bye, who, that's interesting. Because I don't think of Jokic as like a one-on-one player.
I don't think anyone does, but that's where he is.
But he's the bye in the second round. And then we got Sengun. We got the Sengun.
Baby Jokic.
Over Embiid. Again, I think when I picked this, I was thinking like health reasons. Joel's not going to ever probably play. He's not going to take it seriously. You don't want to risk injury. And Sengun has game. He's got a lot of this and that.
Are you already trying to excuse yourself?
Well, I just don't remember when I sent these in, so I'm winging it here, Beats. And Sengun is very talented. He can shoot it. He can get to the hole. He can post you up. He's got the little baby hook. He is very good one-on-one. Then we got Cat over Chet Holmgren. I think just physicality, size. He's obviously self-proclaimed best shooting big of all time, so we can see that with a great defender on him. But I think he can handle, he can get downhill, and also make shots. So I think Cat has the edge. And then this is the guy I think that we're all most excited to see. I don't care who it's against, guard, big, strong, skinny, like Victor Wembanyama is going to give you trouble. And again, this matchup with Jalen Duren, it's interesting. It's a big physical dude against a lanky finesse type scorer. but I got to give the edge to Wemby here just because he can do it all in that size, one-on-one, with no help, with no 2-9, no double teams. Wemby's going to be tough.
My God. Lou?
Not bad.
Okay,
not bad.
Not bad, he said.
Yeah, more similarities between Chandler and I. Giannis has that bye, so he moves on. Possibly in his matchup, I like Kawhi Leonard over Pascal Siakam. Need I say more? I just like Kawhi over Pascal when it comes to that matchup. Sliding down, I got LeBron James over Jalen Johnson. LeBron probably raised JJ. JJ probably has a lot of LeBron in his system. I think with IQ, some trash talking, I give LeBron the edge over Jalen Johnson, even at 41 years old. Moving along, I got Kevin Durant over Brandon Ingram. And just to be clear, I got Kevin Durant over a lot of these guys. But that remains to be seen as we walk through this bracket. Jokic also has a second round bye. And then moving down to my list, this is where I thought Chandler was on an edible. I'm going Joel Embiid over Sengun right here. Yeah, if we're playing three-point line in, I think Chandler was thinking too hard about health and all of these other things. But if he's able to compete in this, Joel Embiid is going to whoop a lot of these centers in one-on-one, and we're going to start with Sengun. Moving along, I got Cat over Chet. I just think Cat got more in his one-on-one bag than Chet. That's what gave me the edge over him. 3-level scorer to be a big. So give me Cat over Chet. Last but not least, obviously I have Victor Wembanyama over Jalen Duran. Like I said, he got more tools in his bag, more things to get to in his one-on-one bag. Impact on the defensive end. It's going to be hard to score on him, and it's going to be hard to stop him from scoring. So I got Victor Wembanyama over Jalen Duran.
Look at that bracket, by the way. Can you imagine if this actually happened? Like this, you're not telling me this wouldn't be the biggest event of the weekend or of the year even. Like I just saw LeBron James versus Kevin Durant one-on-one. That'd be so sick.
Well, I also kind of want Wemby to be with Chet, but I know that's not how it worked out in the brackets. Any issues there, Boogie?
Yeah, the Joel Embiid once again.
Dang it, Chandler.
Well, you just wait till we come back from break, because I got the Gooner going. They're surviving and advancing too, Boog.
We're talking about one of the most skilled bigs to ever touch a basketball in Joel Embiid. Hezzy pulls, drives left, drives right, shoot the 3 ball, put the ball on the floor. And I think we're kind of missing something when we talk about one-on-one. Defense matters in one-on-one. So Sengun isn't necessarily a guy that tells defense. So I'm definitely going with Joel with that one. Yeah, and for the most part, everything else I agree with. But for me, when it comes to just the overall, Kevin Durant is
Don't get spoiler alert. Quit it.
But you like the other ones.
LeBron,
yeah, I
and
agree with
Jalen
everything.
Johnson.
But when you, I don't necessarily like Jokic on this list. I don't look at him as.
That's just that's all stuff.
Neither.
I think that's.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he
he's
got
on
a
here
bye.
by default.
Newsflash, he's not going to do it anyways.
Okay, can you just stop? We have to go to break because we're going to do the second round. So far, the Curry and the Sengun is where you've lost them. Got it. We'll be right back. Second round's next.
Oh, God, we're going?
Heck yeah, we're doing it.
I thought it was next week.
No way. Hello?
There we are.
Is this thing on? All right, we're back. That was a scary moment in TV where everything goes dark. Okay. You know what, Chandler? I don't have time for you right now. We're going to start with Lou in the second round with the guards. Take it away, Mr. Williams.
All right, in the second round, in this matchup right here, Chandler, Boogie also just mentioned it. It comes down to defense. Both of these guys can score, but I got to give it to Jaylen Brown. I know Luka is a one-on-one killer. He's one of the best scorers in the game, but just with nobody else on the floor, got to give me Jaylen Brown in that matchup. I got Anthony Edwards over Devin Booker. I know what I said about DB being a mid-range killer, but if size comes into play and some bully ball starts happening, I like my chances with Ant Edwards. So I'm going AE on that one. Now Tyrese Maxey got to come out and play. His first round matchup is Jamal Murray. I like Tyrese Maxey over Jamal Murray in a one-on-one matchup. I also like Cade Cunningham over De'Aaron Fox. But for me, that's Steph Curry. So just the size and both of these guys being shooters, being killers, give me Cade Cunningham over De'Aaron Fox in Chandler's bracket, and give me Cade Cunningham over Steph Curry in my bracket as well.
Sir?
Simply for size.
Okay, so I'm kind of similar, but I have a few different here.
Do you?
And it's this matchup also I would love to see. Are you kidding me? Luka versus Jaylen Brown. Two of these guys have been so elite all season long. Defensively, I think Luka will struggle one-on-one a little bit with Jaylen Brown. He's too physical. He's too talented. So I got to go.
Can you whine in a one-on-one?
With Jaylen Brown. He's going to get
Yes,
a 16th attack. He'll be out of there after a 16th attack on a missed carry call. So I got to go Jaylen Brown here. Devin Booker, this was a tough one for me. This is probably honestly the hardest one for me because Anthony Edwards is so fun. He's so exciting to watch, and I need him in this tournament. But Devin Booker to me is just so smooth in that mid-range. He's so good with his ball fakes and just the way he can kind of jab at you and release and shoot over you wherever he is on the floor, back to the basket, face up. Devin Booker is really, really good one-on-one, and people I think they sleep on that a little bit. Now, this was interesting. Lou had, obviously, Steph in there and then Jamal Murray. I have Jamal Murray over Fox. Partially, I think he's going to be...
Wait, where are you going? You're on the
Wait,
top.
where am I?
Yeah.
I mean, Jamal Murray over Tyrese Maxey. Jamal Murray, I think, is a better one-on-one mid-range. I think Tyrese Maxey's unbelievable. A lot of his game is athleticism, speed, and transition. Wow. You can kind of eliminate that in this one-on-one, this setting. So give me Jamal Murray. And then I got Cade Cunningham over the surprise pick of the draft, De'Aaron Fox. He's going to be too caught up on beating Steph Curry in the first round. Cade Cunningham's too big, can shoot over him, can get to the basket.
I'm getting some feedback in my group chat about some of our picks, by the way.
Oh,
good or bad?
Good or bad?
Well, my nephew Juju, he likes your Fox pick. I think he's tripping. And he had something to say about me picking Joel over Sengun as well.
Juju, well, you just wait for the next round, Juju.
I don't know what you're
But yes, last pick, I think Cade Cunningham, he's way too big to go against De'Aaron Fox. I think he can have his way with him. He can like post him up, obviously, depending on the dribble. 6'7" guard, too much. Cade advances.
I mean, Boogie, they had a couple differences there.
Yeah, where am I? I agree with it. I agree with the Jaylen Brown over Luka, simply off of like I said, defense matters in one-on-one. I'm actually going with A. Edwards over Devin Booker. Size. I think Anthony Edwards could bully Devin at some point. I also think Jamal Murray over Tyrese Maxey. I agree he's more open court athleticism type of guy. Jamal Murray is a bigger guard, 6'4" frame, got some weight to him. I think that's a tough matchup one-on-one. And I do pick Cade over Steph. And it's like this is a 6'7" guard. That's a nightmare for any guard to have to match up. So
yeah. We got the behind the scenes. I can't wait for y'all to hear some of Chandler picks on this round.
Oh
but anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Go first?
No, you're not going first.
Juju, stick with me here.
Lou's going up next on the bigs.
Moving along, in my second round for the bigs, this one got tricky for me, man. This was a hard pick, but I went Kawhi Leonard over Giannis. With Kawhi's ability to be able to guard, Giannis not being so much of a scorer 18 feet out, I think Kawhi can make it difficult for him. So I picked Kawhi over Giannis to start my second round off with the bigs. I got Kevin Durant over LeBron James. KD just has a deep one-on-one bag. It's not a lot of things that LeBron James is gonna be able to stop him to do. So I like Kevin Durant in that matchup. I got Joel Embiid over Jokic in this round. Just for the one-on-ones and that matchup over time, over years. I've always liked Joel Embiid in that matchup. So I'm going Joel to move on in the next round. And then I have Victor Wembanyama over Karl Anthony Towns to round out my second round for the bigs as well. What you got, Chandler?
By the way, ours is pretty similar, actually, besides one matchup.
One.
Okay, on this first matchup, one winner, I got to go with Lou here. I think Kawhi Leonard's versatility, his way to be able to shoot in the mid-range. At the end of the day, you got to be able to make shots in this game. And Giannis, that's not his strength. He's obviously transition, get downhill, post up, bodying you. He's not going to be able to do that so easily with the dribble limit against Kawhi Leonard. So I think Kawhi advances. Then I got Kevin Durant over LeBron James. This one is
what a battle.
So exciting. This one just I would go to this.
I would pay money for this.
I don't care about the dunk contest. I don't care about three-point contest. I would go just to see this matchup. I don't care if they're out of their prime, what age they're on. This would be awesome. I just got to give the edge to Kevin Durant. Again, I think he's the best, tallest, biggest scorer ever. So I think he's probably going to win this thing. And then on the next one, okay, this is where I get a little rogue, but number one, Jokic isn't going to care.
Okay.
He's not going to play. So maybe if it was Joel Embiid, I would have had a tougher time picking Sengun, but I love Sengun in this format. He's big, he's slow, his pace, he's not going to get sped up. He can shoot little baby hooks. little ball fakes. I don't know if you're going to go for the ball fake because there's no one else on the floor. but I think he is going to make a surprise sneak into the Final Four here just because of his offensive capability, obviously. And then the last matchup, this is also a fun matchup. Two big scoring guys that can shoot the ball, that can get downhill. I just think Wemby's size, and as Jokic is not going to want to play, this guy is going to want to play. You saw how hard he played in the game. I can't imagine one-on-one seeing guys in front of him what he's going to try and do to them. So I think the strength will be a little bit of an issue with him, but his size and talent will overtake that matchup. And he'll advance against a tough matchup against the Gooner in the Final Four.
Stop calling him the Gooner. Boogie?
What you see, Boogie?
Any issues?
Well, I don't even think Sengun should be here along with.
So
No
weird.
knock to him. It's just like we said, this is one-on-one. So I'm not.
You don't think this is gonna work?
Emma's
I do
willing to
agree
down
with
that
that.
hill. He's ready to down that hill, Boogie.
Yeah, and I'm also going with, like, for me, that's Joel Embiid. Like, I think, like I said, he's one of the most skilled to ever touch a basketball, especially when it comes to one-on-one play. The heads he pulls, the ability to drive left, right, all of those things. And on top of that, he can play defense one-on-one. So, you know, he edges out when it comes to these three guys in Sengun and Jokic. And same goes for, well, in lose list, he has him over Anthony Towns, and I agree with that as well. So that's the only thing that's the only thing that stands out for me. I agree with Kawhi over Giannis. I agree with KD over Bron, and I agree with Wemby over.
I feel like I know
Well,
where
you
this
got
is going.
Sengun winning the whole thing, huh?
No,
Guess
no,
you have
we're not
to
doing
wait
it yet.
till next week,
We're not
Lewis.
doing the. Yeah, we are. But we
Hey.
do have a question. No, I have a question.
I have a question, too.
I don't care. I'm hosting. It's from the chat. Adam G. By the way, is Adam G actually Georgie Yang? Because the question is, let's get a one-on-one between Georgie Yang and Chandler and Boogie.
Yeah,
Who
first
wins?
of all, what up, Georgie? I know that's you on
We
your burner
know
account.
it's you, buddy.
We
Yeah,
were
do
both
it.
Don't put me in
struggling
this
before.
category. I feel
First of all,
disrespected.
Okay, be
I
nice.
was about to
Boogie.
say-
I'm right here.
Yeah, Boogie.
Whoa.
How damaging would it be to Chandler, Boogie, in this?
I don't even
scenario?
want to be in this conversation.
Hold on, it's
I don't
both of
like
us
it.
against Jordan.
Boogie and Chandler
Boogie will play both of y'all. I've seen Boogie hoop recently.
and Lou and George.
2-on-1, me and Georgie against Boogie.
No, it's
would
not
be a game.
2-on-1. It's one.
I still like my chances.
Let me ask you guys a serious
That's
question.
disrespectful.
Georgie, good hearing from you.
Yep.
How much would they have to pay the winner of this tournament to make it like enticing?
That's what I'm at. Yeah, that's
$1 million.
million.
Million? Think he gets? You think he
We can do
gets
that.
half of this list there, and then
We
you
can do
throw
it.
in,
Too, man.
then you throw in the Peyton Pritchards and the Anthony Simon, like the one-on-one guys
Oh,
that
the Pritchards like this.
aren't necessarily all stars, but kind of
That's
have
where
a
it's
bag.
gonna, that's where it's
Sleeper.
gonna get tricky.
Sleeper pick.
You know, we got dream picks. It's gonna be a lot of guys signing
Dang it.
up that we probably don't want to see. But not to say that that's Peyton Pritchard, but there's gonna be some guys that's signing up. Like if I was in the league and this
Yeah.
came out, I'm like I'd play.
Oh, it's
That's
gonna
what I'm
be-
saying.
Hey,
It's, I
wanna
don't
see
even
you.
care.
Like, get out of here. We want to see these guys.
But I don't even care if it's the Jordan Clarksons and the
I
Jalen
just
Greens.
want
I
this
just
to
want to
happen.
see the best bag one-on-one hoopers.
I would
go at
leave
it.
my house and go to this. That's how I know it's a big deal. Taking a quick break. We'll run it back.
Me
on
and
the other
Georgie
side.
against Boogie. That's interesting.
No, not you and Georgie. Just you
liability, Chandler.
against Boogie. 40 seconds. This is from Jay Garrett. Retired NBA players, three-point contest would be something as well. Anybody in for this?
Now that I can do, as long as I don't have to move and defend and play against Boogie, I'll shoot all day long. It's like riding a bike.
So
One thing
we
we
were
don't
in.
lose is the jumper.
You
That's
what,
one
Lou?
thing we don't lose.
I'd watch that. I would watch that. Like, I'm thinking about these things as a viewer, and I would 100% watch retired
I
players
do
stuff.
anything to get that old feeling
do
back,
that.
man. Check ball. I don't care. Let's get it.
Wow, Lou is-
One-on-one would hurt.
Medics nearby, man.
Now shooting, I got that still, Beads.
Isaiah Thomas is back on the show.
Taylor ain't shot a ball in God knows
Oh, I
how
missed
long.
him. He loves me.
We're gonna take a break. See y'all mañana. I'd watch it.
Yeah, yeah.